Welcome to the Positive Exponents and Patterns video. The standard of learning for today is that the student will investigate and describe concepts of positive exponents. What you will be able to do at the end of this lesson is you should be able to say that I can convert repeated multiplication to exponents, expand numbers written in exponential notation, and find what a number written using an exponent equals. So what you already know your multiplication facts and you already know how to find factors. So what I want you to think about for a minute is just like with 2 plus 2 plus 2 plus 2, we can use multiplication. Do you think that there would be an easier way to write 2 times 2 times 2 times 2? If you said yes, then you are correct. We can write this using an exponent. So how do you write an exponential form? Well, you would have a base, or the bottom bigger number, and you would have an exponent, which is the number in the corner. The base is the number that you see, so this down here, and the exponent is how many of the bases you have. So right here in your notes, I want you to go ahead and I want you to write base, and I want you to write exponent. Okay? And we're going to go over this in more detail here in just a moment. So the exponent, the little number in the corner, tells you how many bases you are multiplying together. Exponents give us another way to represent repeated multiplication. So the exponent is read to the power of 1, 2, 3, etc., depending on what your exponent is. The x squared the x to the second power means squared, or a number squared, and we'll go over what that means. And x to the third power means cubed, so a number cubed. Squared means you have 2 of the number. Cubed means that you have 3 of the number. So if I say 4 squared, that means you have 4 times 4. You have 2 4s. So one thing I want to review or go over before we move forward is that this year you will see multiplication written several different ways. The first way is with the parentheses here. That just means 8 times 8. This is the method you're most familiar with the x in the middle, 8 times 8. The most common way you'll see it this year is written with the dot. Dot means multiply. And then here it is with 2 parentheses. You may also see it that way. So this way is the way that you will see it the most this year, with this dot in the middle. If you write a problem like this, just be sure that you are writing it to look like multiplication, like that, and then that you're not making it like this, where it looks like 2.2. You must be very careful because these mean 2 totally different things. Pause the video here if you're still filling out your notes. So let's take a look at our problem again. So we have 2 times 2 times 2 times 2. What number do we see? Well, the number we're looking at is 2. So that is our base. That is the number that we're going to write big. Now, how many of the 2's do we have? We have 4 of them. Okay, so this 4 is our exponent. So if we were going to write this using an exponent, we would write 2 to the power of 4. And that just means 2 times 2 times 2 times 2. So our problem is going to equal 16. Either way it is written, it equals 16. So let's practice. So what number do we see here? Well, we see 2. And how many 2's do we have? We have 2. And this equals 4. Here we have, what number do we see? We see 2. And how many do we have? We have 3 of them. And the answer to this one is 8. Here, this is the previous example that we just did on the last slide. And here we have 2 times 2 times 2 times 2 times 2. So we have 2 to the 5th power, and that would equal 32. So what I want you to do is take a moment and in your notes or on the side sheet of your paper, see if you can write this in exponential form on your own. You can pause the video if you need to. Okay? I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to display the answer. So the base, or the number that you see, is 3. Okay, so right up here, we see 3. And we have 5 3's. So this means 3 times 3 times 3 times 3 times 3. Okay, so what does exponential form represent? Exponential form is a short way to write repeated multiplication of a common factor. So here we have 4 times 4 times 4, which equals 64. An easier way to write this is 4 to the third power. So what I'd like you to do is take a moment, pause the video, and I want you to go ahead and fill in this chart. And I want you to see if you get these right. Okay, you should have just unpaused the video and came back, and you should have done these on your own. So you should have 4 to the third power, 7 to the fifth power, 2 to the sixth power, 9 to the third power, 8 to the second power, and 11 to the fourth power. Now what we're going to do here is we're going to write them in expanded form. So this tells us that we have 5 ones that we are multiplying. So what you should have is 1, we should have 1 times 1 times 1 times 1 times 1. Okay, the next one, this tells us we have 3 6's. So we have 6 times 6 times 6. The next one tells us that we have 4 12's we are multiplying. Okay, what I'd like you to do is take a moment, pause the video, and go ahead and do the next 3. Okay, as you can see, I've went ahead and I filled in the other 3. So I have 9 times 9, 3 times 3 times 3, and then 4 times 4 times 4 times 4 times 4 times 4. Alright, now finding what a number written in in exponential form equals, we have 2 methods. The first one is write it in expanded form and then multiply it by hand. That would take a very long time. The second method is to use the calculator, and tomorrow during class we are going to use the calculator and we are going to practice this. So on your calculator there is a button. It is called the YX button and it looks like this. Okay, it has a Y with a little X in the corner. So the first thing that you do in your calculator, I'm going to demonstrate it on the screen now. So the first thing that you're going to do is you're going to put in your base. So if my base is 2 and my exponent is 6, it would look like this. I would do 2, this is YX, the one on your calculator at school will say YX, to the power of 6. And then you hit equals, and this equals 64. Okay, and we're going to do much more practice, and we're going to go back over this tomorrow. But I just wanted to bring that up now. Alright, so let's take a look at these here. So if you were to use your calculator for this, you would put in 5 for your base, you would hit that YX button, and then you would do to the third power, and you would get 125. What I want you to do here is, if you do have a calculator at home for home use, go ahead and jot these down in your notes and put these in your calculator. I'm going to pause the video and solve these. Okay, you should have paused the video if you do have access to a calculator and went ahead and solved these. If not, don't worry about it. You will get plenty of calculator practice tomorrow. So you know what you just made? If you said positive exponents, you are correct. So we're going to do this practice tomorrow. So what I want to talk about here is patterns. Below you will notice that there is a number. So go ahead and write number in your notes. Number raised to a power. This is telling you what the pattern is going to be. There can be a pattern with any exponent. Notice the exponent does not change in the pattern. Only the base changes. So in this first one, any number raised to the first power is itself. So in this one it is saying you only have 1 1. The next one you have 1 2, 1 3, 1 4, and 1 5. We're not multiplying them by anything else. This one is 2 times 2, so that's 4. This one's 3 times 3, so it's 9. 4 times 4, so it's 16, and 5 times 5, so it's 25. Alright, these over here, this one is 2 times 2 times 2, which is 8. This one is 3 times 3 times 3, which is 27. Alright, the next one is 4 times 4 times 4. And I'm going to go ahead and use the calculator for that. I have 3 4s, so that is 64. Okay, yes, 64. So I'm going to go ahead and write 64. And then this one here is 125. Okay, the next one, I have 4 2s, and we previously did that in another video. And then here we have, on another slide, here we have 3 to the 4th power. So 3 to the 4th power is 81. Whoops, I'm sorry. Alright, the next one we have 4 to the 4th power. So 4xy, 4 equals 256. And finally, the last one is 5 to the 4th power. So 625. So what you'll need to be able to do is you will be given a pattern with 3 or 4 numbers, like these first 3, and you'll be given this part as well. And you will need to be able to continue the pattern. Oops. Okay, what I'd like you to do is complete the patterns below in your notes, and we will go ahead and go over those tomorrow. If you do not have a calculator, that's fine. You can do those as soon as you get into class once you complete your warm-up.